Hello everyone, my name is Arda, and today I'm going to be answering the question, what happens during meditation? So, let's start off with what meditation is. Broadly speaking, it is a practice in which an individual uses various techniques to train attention and awareness and sometimes detach from reflexive, discursive thinking, achieving a mentally clear and emotionally calm and stable state while not judging the meditation process itself. Although we will see meditation has many different purposes. The statue that you see is the depiction of a Buddhist monk called Bodhidharma, which was a prominent figure in history for the spread of Buddhism and meditation. So, talking about a little bit of the history of meditation, the first accounts of meditation were recorded around 6th century BCE, and back then it was called dhyana in Hinduism, which means meditation and contemplation. It was taken up in their yoga practices as a means to self-knowledge and samadhi, which means a state of meditative consciousness. So after this, early Buddhist schools adopted bhavana at around 250 BCE, which is the um, closest word to meditation etymologically. That means mental development. Bhavana was central to Buddhist practice and it was aimed at overcoming mental defilements and attaining nirvana. Uh, Nirvana is a transcendent state in which there is neither suffering, desire, nor sense of self, and the subject is released from the effects of karma and the cycle of death and rebirth as believed in Buddhism. And we can definitely say Buddhism was historically a very important religion for the meditation practice, popularity, and continuation throughout history. Then, meditation regained popularity in the 1950s with the so-called Vipassana movement, which refers to a branch of modern Burmese Buddhism that promotes a bare insight meditation practice for, again, religious purposes. It gained widespread popularity since the 1950s, including through its Western derivatives, which have been popularized since the 1970s, giving rise to the more mindfulness-oriented movement. In the 20th century, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi popularized transcendental meditation globally, and Herbert Benson from Harvard introduced the physiological concept of the relaxation response. Also, John Kabat-Zinn launched mindfulness-based stress reduction in 1979, bringing meditation into mainstream clinical settings. And I wanted to put the statue depiction of Buddha here as if I was to say the most prominent figure in the spread of meditation in general from my research, it would be Buddha and Buddhism. So, with this information in mind, we get into the contemporary understanding and the neuroscience we collected so far behind what happens when we meditate. According to the meta-analysis titled The Meditative Mind by Bocchia and colleagues from 2015, researchers reviewed MRI data from numerous neuroimaging studies comprehensively to determine what consistently happens in the brain when people meditate. They found increased activation in several key brain regions, most notably the anterior cingulate cortex, the insula, and the precuneus. Each of these areas plays a crucial role in mental functioning, and their enhanced activation helps explain many of the physiological benefits associated with meditation that that I will talk about in a few moments. So, starting off with the ACC, it is deeply involved in attention regulation, error detection, and conflict monitoring, and various other things. When we are meditating, especially in focused attentional styles, this region helps us notice when our minds wander and gently return our focus to the breath or object of meditation. Its strengthened activation suggests that regular meditators are training their ability to stay attentive and mentally present, which has been linked to improved cognitive control and reduced distractibility in general in daily life. And here we have the insula. It's another region that showed heightened activation and is associated with interoceptive awareness, which is our ability to sense what's happening inside our body, as well as emotional awareness and empathy. Um, when this area becomes more active, individuals often report a stronger connection to their bodily sensations and emotions, which can lead to better emotion regulation, decreased reactivity, and a more grounded sense of presence. Finally, the precuneus, which is here, um, which is part of the brain's default mode network and is related to self referential processing and conscious self awareness. And interestingly, meditation appears to modulate this region in a unique way. Rather than overactivating the DMN, which is the default mode network, meditation refines or redirects its activity, helping reduce unproductive rumination and repetitive self focused thoughts, which are patterns that are actually often represented in anxiety and depression. Not only that, but because I have ADHD and anecdotally saw the attentional benefits of meditation, as well as the previous effects that I mentioned, um, I experienced these firsthand. So I wanted to look further at the relationship between meditation and ADHD. And what I found out was, according to Goldman colleagues from the study Default Mode Network Connectivity and ADHD in Adolescents, revealed a specific link between ADHD and default mode network disconnectivity. More specifically, they found that compared to neurotypical adults, those with ADHD had reduced default mode connectivity, greater levels of mind wandering, temporal discounting, and delay aversion. Um, I want to also note actually that these are, of course, not the only regions that are active, and the meditation type influences the brain activation patterns, um, which I don't have the time to talk about in detail. But I can say, for example, mantra recitation meditation type, which is a type of meditation where you um, self-explanatorily recite a mantra over and over again while meditating, activates other regions associated with language and speech. And for example, compassion, loving kindness meditation uh, type would activate amygdala and other regions associated with emotional regulation, empathy, and so on. Um, so there is no one type of meditation that activates definitively these parts of the brain. Taken together, this pattern of brain activations suggests that meditation strengthens attention, enhances emotional insight, and calms the habitual narrative-driven mind. These neural shifts offer a biological explanation for why people who meditate regularly often report lower stress, reduced anxiety, lower depressive symptoms, greater emotional balance, and improved overall well-being, and so much more. In essence, for me, meditation is not just about relaxation, it's about reshaping the brain to respond to life with more clarity, calm, and resilience, in my opinion. Um, Here is all the bibliography, and thank you for listening.